Today I wanted to talk about a pretty interesting topic on the top three apps, top three however apps I'm going to be telling you, top three apps slash tools that every entrepreneur should use, but most people don't even talk or know about these. So app number one is Exy. Now you might have seen the advertisements for this app, and essentially what this app does is just an application which makes you put down your phone. Now, you guys watching YouTube, you're probably watching it through your phone or your computer, doesn't matter. But some of you, you might be here because you're distracted, right? You may be here because of distractions. You should be working, but right now you're here. And this app, it really allows you to stop this from happening, to prevent this from happening. Now, what it does, literally, you have to put down your phone, and if you do for a certain amount of time, you hatch an egg. Now I know on surface level this idea sounds pretty stupid, but a while back I read a book called The Power of Habit, and it talked about the habit loop, the habit cycle, how it was built and how it affected you. And this habit cycle, it went something like this: you have the trigger, you have the habit, and you have the outcome. Now this app plays around with this idea of the habit loop, and what essentially happens, your habit would be like this. Habit number one, your trigger, I want to work, and I want to be more productive. Your habit would be to put down your phone, and your reward would be to hatch an egg. Now this sounds kind of stupid, but this really helps. Number one, Exy, right? You should be putting down your phones. As I said, most of you, you might be here because you're procrastinating, and if you are, delete YouTube, go away from my channel, go away from video, and just watch, not watch, but work on what you should be working, or watch this full entire video to understand how can you be more productive. So yeah, that was number one, Exy. Now app number two, it's gonna be Coggle.it, and I don't see anybody talking about this one, and I actually really love this app because it's kind of like a mind map, okay? Now, when you're having a bunch of ideas, it's hard to put them together, especially to share them with your team if you have one right now. And I found this app, Coggle.it, which helps me to do this fairly easily. Now what happens here, it's something similar to apps like Trello. It's an online Google Chrome app, not the Google Chrome, but just an online app where you can just build out a mind map around a certain idea. Now you should have a demo on the screen of how it looks, how it works, and it's a really good way to put all of your thoughts together within a brainstorming session on one page of paper. And the best thing is you can share this with your team, which I absolutely love. Whew. Now, number three. This was a pretty interesting app, and I even forgot what it was called. So number three is Life Cycle. Now I've been talking about habits all the time, but I remember 2 years ago I was trying to build out. There was a time where I kind of like understood that, oh yeah, I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to build my own business. And I visited a millionaire. Now, when I visited his house, you guys probably know this. Now, the third app is called Life Cycle. Now, with this app, I have a story behind this, okay? Now, when I was 13, something like around that, most of you guys probably know this, but I was mowing lawns to make money, right? At around that time, I had read Robert Kiyosaki's book, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it essentially talked about, yeah, that you should be becoming an entrepreneur, you should be making your own money, stuff like that. And as a 13-year-old kid, the best way for me to do it was by mowing lawns, right? And what happened then was, most of the lawns I mowed, they were for millionaires, right? That happened because I knew that those people would pay me more money and I would get some connections. That's why I did that. And I remember one of them, he was a particularly young man. He was in his 20s. He had 2 cars in his garage. He had a huge ass house. And I remember, first of all, I thought he might have won that money from lottery, or he just inherited that. But when I actually spoke with him and when he started mentoring me, I actually understood that was not the case at all. Like, not even close. But the reason why I told you the story was because he gave me the idea of that habits are the most important thing that an entrepreneur can have, right? You can have destructive habits or good habits. Like, for example, if you read books, if you educate yourself, that's a good habit. If you keep on procrastinating or playing video games, that's a bad habit. Now, why does that happen? Why is that the case? I talked about in a couple of different videos, the thinking long term and, upside downside, the graph. You probably guys do. And yeah, that essentially made me understand the power of habits and the importance of habits. And this app called Life Cycle, it puts some analyzation into that. Okay, by this I mean, within this app, it literally tracks everything you do during the day. Right? When I'm with my phone, I walk around. It tracks how long am I walking from point A to point B. How much time do I spend there, how much do I sleep, stuff like that. This app was created by the people who made the app called Sleep Cycle, the same developers. And it's a really good app because when you can track everything you do during the day, you understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. You have the data to analyze, to change things, to tweak things. And it's really, really important because if you don't have the data, if you don't have anything to look at, it's hard for you to see where you're going right and you're going wrong. And this app really helps you out with the analyzation part of your habits and understanding what's good and what's bad. And yeah, just look at all those people skiing. I cannot ski. I would be skiing, but I cannot ski because I'm a broken arm. So I'm using my time productively by writing, by making this video. So hey guys, thank you so much for watching this. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe. And peace out.